Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Sean Tienerson. I'm here with you on Entrepreneurship to the Point. We're having another In Conversation discussion with some entrepreneurs and really hearing their side of the story and just their journey up to this point. We're in COVID-19 during lockdown. And as much as this is a health crisis, it's also an economic crisis, especially for the entrepreneurs out there. Thank you all for joining us. I can see the participants is growing. Please let us know where you're from and where you're dialing in from. Also want to encourage you guys to go and sign up to our newsletter at www.ettp.co.za or follow us on the YouTube channel, which we're also live streaming on, and that's Entrepreneurship to the Point. And this afternoon, we'll be speaking to two entrepreneurs around their journey and just what does this all mean to them as entrepreneurs during this time? How has it affected their business? How has COVID-19 affected their business? And also the forecast of their business going forward. So I'm joined on the line with Remy. Remy, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good, Sean. How are you?
Under the circumstances, could have been better. But yeah, we're toughening out and getting on with it, eh? Remy, don't you want to just give us a quick introduction to your business? Tell everyone what you're about, what you do.
My name is Remy Tshiko. I'm the founder of Tshiko Electrical Services, which I founded in 2009. That's the first version of Tshiko Electrical. And I relaunched the business in 2011, focusing full-time. Currently, we employ 10 full-time and, before the COVID, and 6 part-time guys. We're located in Klorkop, just off Allandale Road in Midrand. And our main service is just new electrical installation. We do maintenance and services. We do generators, we install, we service those. And we also do a little bit of work on the data centers, the electrical part of the data centers.
Okay, so Remy, tell us a bit about your background. So where are you from? Where did you grow up? How did this whole entrepreneurship thing come about for you?
Okay, I was born and bred in Venda, in the far Limpopo. And I believe I've always been an electrician. I'm saying that because with an electrician father, you know how fathers are with their sons. So my dad carried me, pulled me next to him all the time when he does his jobs. He bought me my first toolbox at a very young age. And we just started working. And he decided to take me to technical high school. And I think he had my life planned for me. And been an electrician ever since. After matric, I went to apprenticeship doing electrical fitter, fixing the railways, and I qualified at the age of 22. At the age of 22, I was a qualified electrician/electrical fitter. And that's how my journey started.
So very much groomed by your dad, got the exposure from a young age and got into this. So you spoke about the fact that you kind of started the business in 2009, but officially only went full-time in the business at 2011. So was it a bit of a side hustle for a time?
Yeah, with my father doing the small works at the village, everybody in the village tend to believe that my father is still doing that, I'm doing that. And I was approached by many. Hey, there's a new shopping center there in Thohoyandou, where I'm from, my hometown. And so there was a need to restart or to grow my father's legacy. And I started the business. I don't know if it was the timing was right. I started the business and I didn't put much focus on it. I was far away. They say the farmer's best manure is his own shade. So I was far away and I left more like a small child in the care of other people who didn't have the same passion that I had. And the business didn't survive 2 years. yeah, we started in 2009, around February, March, after the end of financial year. When I look at the figures, we were bleeding money. And it was just I decided to cut my losses and focus on my day-to-day job.
Yeah, so very much like we've heard on Friday with Deco's story, your first attempt, very much a failure in that sense. What was the key lessons that you learned out of this failure?
You need to surround yourself with like-minded people, or maybe people better than you. In fact, I had the wrong team. I had wrong management looking at the business for me. We, at one go, I think we had 6 employees. And yes, we had contract, business was coming, but our costs were much higher than the revenue that we were generating at that time. And I was sort of supplementing the business. We had signed lease agreement, so we had contracts that we needed to perform. But it got to a point where it couldn't continue. I had to.
How did that play out, even from a personal perspective, Remis? I mean, how does that really? How's your mindset when you're busy with something that you're passionate about and it's not working out? You're putting lots of money into it. This is your baby, and you're putting money into it, and it's still not working out. How does that make you feel as in the situation?
First, I think the victim becomes the family first. I had to make trips every week. We're talking about 500 kilometers. And I had to make that trip. So very often try to resuscitate the business, but it still didn't work. I tried to hire people that I could trust, people close to me. I think by that I was also making the situation even worse. So it affects you. You know, you wish you knew better. You wish you could get somebody who can come and run the business for you. And I felt it was a good lesson. You know, business. You see businesses up and running. You think, oh, geez, so easy. I can do that, but you don't know what's happening on the background.
It's tough out there. I think as we've always said at Entrepreneurship to the Point, is that entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, and you never know how difficult it is until you're walking through it. And I think on the line we're joined by quite a few entrepreneurs. I see them on the chat. Please do interact on the chat. So Brownie, Richard, Refillware, thanks for your messages. I think I might have missed a few messages as well. Ntabiseng. Thanks, guys. Let us know any questions or any comments as we continue with this chat. Remember, we're also on YouTube at Entrepreneurship to the Point, or you can follow us on the newsletter www.ettp.co.za. So after the first failure, how long did it take you to open up the business again?
Okay, before we go to that, when I stopped the business, we still had the contract, but the contract was not yielding much. So, like I said, I decided to cut the losses, and I had to get one of my people that I went to school with. He had almost a similar business in my home province, and to take that over. And then I had to go back to the drawing board. What is it that I didn't do right? Starting with all 6 people, just throwing them in an office, go sign a lease agreement. I decided there are things that I could have done better. Asking myself, what else could I have done? And sat down and decided, I'm gonna give this a good try, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm in it fully without looking back, without having to go to the office and do another job on the side.
So that full-time commitment, learning from the lessons that didn't go right the first time around, being able to come closer to your business, and also surrounding yourself with the right people was some of the key lessons.
Yeah.
Then bring us up to the success of the business up to just prior to COVID.
I've always known my strength, and I've always been aware of my weaknesses and me as a person. So I decided to capitalize on my strength to bring the business to where it is right now, and also being aware of the shortfalls. I make sure that
maybe explore that quickly. What is your strength as you described?
I think when it comes to electrical work, the actual work, it has been, I've gone through a lot of apprentice, I've gone through a lot of lessons. I invested my time on learning more about it. So I've always wanted to be an excellent electrician. I thought that was enough, but when it comes to the business, it wasn't. And my shortfalls were more on the business side. All my learnings at school has been technical this, technical that, engineering this, engineering that, with less of people's management, customer service. Those are things that I never learned from school. And I knew that they were my shortcomings, and I need to invest time to learn such things.
So I think there was an important point that you made there is being able to understand your technical, your strengths and where you also have those shortcomings. So Michael E. Gerber in his book, The E-Myth, speaks about the fact that this entrepreneurship journey is never an easy one because you can be a good technician. In your case, you are an excellent electrician. You've had all the training, but really being able to define the business side was an important key factor because a good electrician doesn't make a good entrepreneur.
Certainly.
You need almost that support on the side to be able to make sure that you're relearning a new skill, and that's to run a business. And the technical guys, you need to be able to hire the right ones, but you need to be able to, how do you interact with your clients? How do you get new clients? How do you manage staff? How do you focus on managing your cash flow? Those are the things that you then worked on for the past years after the second time you came around with business.
Yeah. When we started, I remember it was just me and another guy and a buggy and our tools. So I would run around the whole day, get the job done, come back home around 10 o'clock, still need to respond to the emails, still need to do marketing. I mean, you can't do marketing at night other than sending an email. It was tough, but I think it made me stronger. It made the business stronger because now I understand what our electricians face on the field. And one thing that worked for us, Sean, is we went to site, we did an excellent job. That's what I made sure. We treat our customers well. Whatever we promise, we deliver even more. We'll even sweep the floor when we finish with the job, just to make sure that the site looks better than the way we found it. But still, that was not enough. I had to address the issue of customer service in terms of marketing, sales, finances. I had to get hold of my brother into the commerce stuff to assist me with that while I learn.
So really leaning on those around you that does have the knowledge and the skill and the know-how, being able to be open to learn was a key factor.
Yeah, certainly. My brother did a very good job. Stuff that he was learning at school, we tried it. I remember when he just graduated around 2014. He was working with me full time. How can we make this business grow? And grow, yes, it did. But growth is, you grow to this level and you can't even grow further because of your knowledge. And we decided we're going to learn together. We're going to take this business to the higher grounds. And that's what we've been striving to do ever since.
And then tell us, where was the business before COVID? Give us a picture of your business before COVID.
Business was good, Sean. I was happy. We signed a couple of contracts. And, something just tells you that you need to focus more on recovering the funds from the clients, because sometimes we find ourselves sitting on over 120 days, and it was affecting our our cash flow. We started focusing more on that, and some clients were paying us, and that really helped us in a sense that now we're sitting not comfortably, but we in terms of funds, we're not battling. We are able to go through this COVID, even though we won't have revenue for this month.
Okay. So you were able to focus on really cash flow management, making sure your suppliers are paying you. Come COVID, as an electrical business, did you guys focus on trying to get your essential certificate, essential services certificate? Have you been active during the lockdown as a business?
We received from our clients, one in the banking sector, and the other one financial as well. So they are the ones who provided us with such certificate, because I didn't want to expose the guys to the COVID itself. So we're only ready and willing to do the crucial work. As for the banking sector, they are working on skeleton stuff, which makes it easier for us to be on site without a congestion of people. So yes, we've got 2 clients that we're currently servicing, but we are on a skeleton stuff.
But Remy, there's an important point that you just spoke about now, is the fact that you had to weigh up the health of your staff versus the opportunity to do work. And you say that you didn't want to expose your staff to get infected in any which way. How difficult the decision was that for you? Because I'm sure as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that any opportunity that you can get out of that. But it sounded like there was that real consideration to make sure that your staff is taken care of as well. Was that a quick decision, or was it a difficult decision for you to make?
It wasn't an easy one. I had to sit and think and put myself in their shoes. These are people who've got families as well. They got kids. So I just felt maybe I'm more equipped to protect myself than them. They drive sometimes 2 or 3 in a vehicle. I remember that first week before the lockdown, when all the social distancing started. So I made sure that the guys are well protected. They've got all the equipment that they need, and always continue preaching being safe, because it worried me that one guy gets it, we have our next meeting, and it spreads through. That can be very dangerous to the business. So I had to make that business also to looking at the financial part. Sometimes you need to do what's good for the people before you look at the monetary part of it. So that's what I believe in.
So
that's what I
think that definitely sets leaders apart in a way, because what is your motivation, even within your own business as an entrepreneur, where you need to focus on that sustainability of your business, but you cannot do this business without the right people. I think it's an earlier lesson that you learned from your first failure. And it's commendable. I have to commend you on being able to make that decision. How has this now affected your business in terms of getting money in during this time? Are you going to be able to pay your staff? And what else are you focused on during the lockdown in terms of your business?
My experience with the first failure was that cash flow is king. So that's one thing that I've learned to focus on. So we try to build up to a point where we can go for 2-3 months without income. Guys will still get paid. And when we decided not to take other small jobs during the pandemic, I knew that we'll recover. It's all about the relationship that you keep. I did try to explain to some of the clients that this is not urgent, we'll attend to it, no worries, we're still there. And I can't remember the other question you asked, Sean, the last part of the question.
What else are you busy with as a business during this time? What are you taking as the entrepreneur during this time of lockdown where you're not as busy? What else is keeping you busy in the business or thinking about the business?
I'm the 5 o'clock man. Every 5 o'clock I wake up, do my reading, get to the computer around 7:30, and I crunch the numbers. I look at the reports, last year's reports, our monthly report, and I always ask myself question, what is it that we could have done better? What else we could have done just to get the business to perform better than where it is right now? And try to invest in knowledge, try to learn how other entrepreneurs are doing through books, watch some videos, and just try to better prepare myself for continuous improvement, because I'm a firm believer that we need, as a business, we need to continue to grow. We need to continue to be better. We need to be better than we were a month ago, and that's what I push with my colleagues as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So I think, Remy, as we just come to a close almost, and we're gonna, just for all the attendees, we'll be joined by Monyana. This morning session was not able to take place, so we'll be doing another session just immediately after this, sharing her story. But just to recap on Remy's story as well. So Remy, as I recap, just maybe think of what advice would you give other entrepreneurs out there, and even if it's a book or a video or author or speaker that you would recommend, definitely think of that. But I think for me, the takeaways for this was really being able to learn from one's failures in terms of you've mentioned key elements. Surround yourself with the right people. Make sure that you are investing in the business and investing in your cash flow. Build good relationships with your clients and with your suppliers in order to especially when it's during the tough times now that you are engaging with them. But I think also the most commendable thing was also putting the well-being of your staff at the forefront, and then also investing in your own personal development, because as you as an entrepreneur grow, so you are able to also grow your business. What parting words, advice, or wisdom would you like to share with other entrepreneurs during this time? Because the struggle is real.
Certainly. Business, it's about opportunities, and it's about making sure that we deliver to our clients. Without them, we can't do anything. So, like I said, I try to better myself every angle. There's a book that I read again and again. I don't know how many times I've read this book. I don't know if you probably know about it. Is it upside down?
No, it's perfect. We can see it.
Yeah, I read this a lot. Can you see it, Sean?
Tell us about it.
This book, the way it helps me is it asks questions that you might overlook. What more can I do? What are my competitors doing? What's the next big thing? Such questions, 37 questions of them, and Duncan Benetime tried to explain each and every one of them in a way that we can understand.
The listeners just want to see the book again so that we can capture the name and the author. So if you can maybe just hold it up again. I think, Remy, definitely thank you for that encouragement. So it's 37 questions by Duncan Benetime. So
yeah,
37 questions by Duncan Benetime.
Yeah,
we'll definitely post it for everyone to see as well.
Yeah, it's part of the Dragon's Den. I think it's a British TV show. Invest as well in startups.
Okay, awesome. And please do, to everyone that's listening, note that we will be bringing you Monyana from Remoko Eco Cleaning as well. Thank you so much, Remy, for this. This recording will be available on YouTube as well as, in all our social channels. But on our YouTube channel, it's Entrepreneurship to the Point. Our aim is to get to the point of things that matter for entrepreneurs during these tough times. Thank you for your advice. And we'll be just switching over to our holding screen and moving over to Monyana. So please do not sign off. We will be starting the next session immediately. Thanks so much, Remy. So once again, we've got another in conversation session with on entrepreneurship to the point with Onyana, and she is the founding director for Remoko Eco Cleaning, and we'll be hearing a bit of her story on the session today. So once again, I'm Sean Tienerson, and you can follow us on all social media channels. E to the point on Twitter, and Entrepreneurship to the Point on YouTube. And you can sign up to our newsletter at www.ettp.co.za. Munyana, we were not able to speak to you this morning, but hopefully we'll be able to speak to you today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sean, how are you?
Well, and yourself?
Good, good.
So maybe just for our listeners, can you give us a quick introduction, share with us what you're doing as a business?
My name is Moyana Lindiwentemane. I am the CEO of Remoko Eco Cleaning Services, which was started in 2013. And we have grown from one cleaner to currently having about 52 cleaners, holding around 5 clients at the moment, huge clients. So we have been around. We started on a very small scale, and we are a progressive company that is growing at the moment.
And Munyana, just tell us a bit about your history. What brought you to this point of opening up Remoko Cleaning? Is it your first business? What's your background? Share a little bit your story.
My story is this, that I was working for a long time for services companies. And I've worked for dealing with a lot of clients. I was a sales rep, a key consultant person who goes out to maintain the existing clients. So approaching clients I've been exposed to different businesses that I would go and see. And we developed a lot of good relationships with my clients, because that also trained me to have a great skill in terms of maintaining clients and making them happy. So along that way, I could see that there was a gap in terms of we would supply them with other services like hygiene and indoor plants. And then I realized that there is a gap here that I can mobilize and come out of working and start a cleaning business. And also being a person who is coming from a background where I was raised by a grandmother who was very strict in terms of putting things in order in the house, and he would not allow you to go out and play without dishes not washed, without beds not made, and you haven't bathed and you are busy outside in the streets playing. So that trained me to be a very smart person, an orderly person. So I looked at myself and I saw that I could really take this skill and my upbringing and bring it into the business and making their space very clean, because I'm very keen in terms of seeing things in order. So that pushed me to make the business.
So that's a really great story. I think that we all need grandmoms like that, especially in this. I would love to have had your grandmom.
Yeah.
Yes. My house at this point in time during lockdown with my kids. Munyana, so one of the key elements is that you've had this corporate experience. You were working in the service industry. And you were dealing with clients, and you found that it was quite, you were able to do that effectively for others, and you made that decision to go into business. Right. How difficult was the transition from working and earning a salary to trying to build your own business up?
The fortunate part is that when you are a person that is married, you speak about this with your husband and you tell him that, would you allow me to resign and start what is in my mind? And then you'll commit to buying food and paying rent, despite you not having anything to expand or buy clothes. So that's what I made an agreement. I was quite sure, depending on my husband for anything, that he would want to pay the bills. So I literally went out and started business, and it took me, before we could get the income, it took us about 6 months to 7 months. So that I did mobilize myself in terms of making sure that I start bringing income. It was a stress on me because the environment that we're used to, this lifestyle, did completely change. So it pushed me to work hard and get clients on board. Yeah, that's what I could say. That's what made me. It was a risk most of the time, because when it comes to finances in the house, there's a lot of fights, but we came out of it as we brought in business on the right time.
And I think a lot of people don't underestimate that personal pressure that it actually puts on you. Being able to know that you have the support of family, and like in your case, your husband, to be able to say, go out there, but to think about it not being able to go without any income for 6 months when you were used to getting that income, is quite a tough journey. I'm sure you celebrated when you landed that first client. How long did it take you from client number 1 to client number 2?
From client number 1, it took me almost a year to get a second client. And yeah, but the fortunate part of it is that the clients were bigger, that for me to be able to maintain myself with the few clients, the one client that I had, and I was able to push for another client as I progressed in selling myself to other businesses.
And what do you think? What was the difficulty in being able to really get to that next client? Because, you know, for 6 months you've gone without anyone, and you come out of an industry. Once again, you came out of the corporate job where you were doing this on a daily basis, and it was easy for you to most probably engage clients and manage clients. But what was in your experience the difficult part around getting those clients?
The difficult part with our kind of business, many clients are into contract services. So once you have a client that you have signed up a contract for 2 to 3 years, so most of the clients that you'll be approaching, they are already in contracts with the current service suppliers. So it will take you time to get the push. It forced me to phone as many clients as possible, because if you kind of weigh yourself low in terms of your business sales and development, you find that many clients will not come back to you because they're already seated with clients that are giving them services. It's a very competitive industry. So then what I did when I was waiting to getting a second client, I then began to learn more on the cleaning industry in terms of what other services, what can make me different. And I believe that's when you came on board as proper point to take me on board. And then I could even learn more in terms of what is required in the business for me to progress. So I learned about my sphere of business, and I developed myself to have more knowledge. I looked at other products and services that I can bring in just in terms of only cleaning. I need to add more business services in the cleaning industry. So that gave me an opportunity to sit down and see what can be added to my service that we can sell to other clients, to the clients. So it was very tough. Yeah.
What? So once again, I'm hearing quite a little bit about your story in the sense that you were in a market that was highly competitive. A lot of clients would have had service providers in place already, but yet you were quite persistent in terms of really calling up these clients, building the rapport, building the relationship, but also at the same time, making sure that you are growing in the industry and learning as much more as you can, as much as you can about the industry and how to differentiate yourself in the industry.
Right.
How did you keep yourself positive? How should entrepreneurs, especially now we're in lockdown as well, a lot of people are not earning money. You haven't earned money when you started your business for 6 months. How did you keep yourself motivated?
Motivation, it's, I'm not, I hope it's in the line of business, but I think there's a spiritual aspect of things where you kind of connect yourself to the above powers, where you look to him and give you strength to continue having the vision that you want to do to achieve business. Otherwise, if you look to people, sometimes they would let you down. They will promise you many things. Even the clients, you would go to them and say, and you think you've just made a deal and waiting for the confirmation to come back to the client, and you see that they're not coming back to you. There is slowness in terms of confirming the business you've gone to your clients for. And then you would just say, I know that God is on my side. I know I will pray. I will get that strength. And also, I also begin to, with Proper Point entrepreneurship program, it made me meet other entrepreneurs that I were able to, whom I was able to speak to and encourage one another in terms of the business difficulties. The platform that you gave us, it was very good in terms of encouraging one another. So I would also say the network that we had through Proper Point managed me to really carry on with the business.
So I think once again, your faith was one of those defining things that carried you through during the tough times.
Yeah.
And also being able to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. Let's look at where you're at this point in time. So as a cleaning service, were you guys able to secure your essential services certificate? Have you been able to continue the work during the lockdown? And how difficult has that been?
Can I give to my director, our director, to speak about it? She will tell you more. That's
Ronel. It's Ronel.
Can you introduce yourself as well?
It's Ronel Morris. I'm the managing director of Remoko. Moyan and I have become partners about 3 years ago. So it's been difficult with COVID-19 lockdown. All our customers that we currently service has closed down. So from that point of view, services has been suspended. So obviously there's been really no income for us as well. But luckily we were fortunate enough to register as an essential services provider. And we've managed to get some sanitizing, deep cleaning jobs, and we're still persisting there. So hopefully we, at least by the time it's time for month end to come, we'll be able to pay our staff and not let anybody go hungry, because I think that is our biggest concern, is our staff and their well-being as well, and them being able to maintain themselves.
Yes, and that's a consistent message. I'm going to just ask you ladies to please maybe just push your laptop a little bit forward so we can just see both of you in the screen. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Have you guys been able to tap into any of the relief funds and support for small businesses, and how difficult has that been, or has it been quite easy for you? Where's that situation at?
We have been able to register on the website, and we have not gotten any response in terms of them confirming that we processing your applications. So we have registered through many channels that we have had on television, on internet, and they have not come back. There are no answers in terms of us getting something, but
not even an acknowledgement that they've received applications.
Yeah,
it's been actually terrible.
And I think we're hearing very mixed messages, because last week we had some of our entrepreneurs on that said they've received some some confirmation. And I think that the challenge is that, you know, many entrepreneurs are in the same position as you guys in terms of not being able to get an answer yet. How are you guys handling the situation? So what decisions are you making now that's affecting the future of your business?
The decision that we are making is being an essential service provider in terms of the lockdown. We are allowed to go on the road, we have permits. So we are approaching different companies in terms of sanitizing their offices in order for us to raise money for what we can provide for our staff. And we have had situations where we have gotten in our clients calling us on board to sanitize. And sanitization, it's really making us to make money, and we are able to pay our staff and pay ourselves and pay the bills that are outstanding within our business.
So I think just to give you guys a perspective on the chat, we've just had some feedback from Remy as well. He said he received approval from the South African Future Trust. That's the Oppenheimer fund that supports the South African Future Trust. And please do let us know in the chat as well if any of you guys that's listening have been able to get any feedback from any of the relief funds and where those statuses are. As part of Entrepreneurship to the Point, we really want to make sure that we get the information out there to entrepreneurs in terms of how they need to go about applying for the various funds in the market and what the process is. Also, we spoke to CIFA last week around the SMME Relief Fund. So if anyone has applied to the SMME Relief Fund and then have not received any feedback, please do be in contact with us and we'll follow up or we'll pass on your queries through to CIFA. We'll be posting the email address on the chat as well, and I'll share it with you guys. For any queries on the CIFA SMME Relief Fund or Business Growth Fund, we've got a direct line there. Moyana, just to finish off the session as well, what do you guys believe the status of your business will be post this lockdown? How worried are you about your business, or what plans are you putting in place to ensure that you continue operating?
We are not worried about our business going down after the lockdown has been uplifted. We know that we're going to be busy because we are already beginning to be busy before the opening, and we find that we are not going to concentrate on negative, and we're not going to concentrate only on supplying cleaning services. We have extended our service to supply sanitizers in office pack, where each and every company would like to receive an office pack for any desk within their businesses. We have formed up a package where we can sell to our clients for as much as time will continue. That will increase our businesses. And also we have been hearing that the government is going to introduce the masks for the next 5 years. Everybody at work should be wearing a mask for the next 5 years. So we're mobilizing our supplies in terms of fabric masks that can be washed, and we will supply clients as such. So we see ourselves growing, sanitizing pack on the desk, sanitizers, and we're gonna also implement a lot of hygiene. There are so many companies that have been neglecting hygiene services, and we're gonna go back and put hygiene more stronger in terms of bringing facilities within businesses. I feel nobody is gonna ignore hygiene at the moment. So it's part of the services that we have included. So we're not gonna see ourselves not having work. Already we for this weekend, we have been busy 3 days cleaning a whole 10,000 square meterage of a company, sanitizing it before they could come, everybody could come back. So we are busy. We're gonna be very, very busy.
Okay, awesome. I think that's very focused around opportunities. As we are in this crisis, entrepreneurs focus on the opportunities at hand and how are you able to differentiate your offering in the market in order to really reposition your business in this new normal. Definitely agree with you. Sanitation and hygiene will be at the top of the focus going forward. And that is an important factor for your business. So thank you once again, Munyana and Renal, around giving us a perspective on your business. This recording will be available on YouTube on our Entrepreneurship to the Point channel. Just to give you guys a quick insight into that email address I spoke about earlier on. So any queries, or if you've not heard around your application from the SMME fund or the business growth fund from the Department of Small Business Development, you can email us at info@ettp.co.za. That's info@ettp, standing for Entrepreneurship to the Point. So ettp.co.za. And we will be able to pass on those queries through to them, and hopefully we'll get an answer. Entrepreneurship to the Point is really here to be able to bring information and assistance through to entrepreneurs during this tough time. Thanks for joining us in conversation. We will be having another In Conversation session tomorrow. Hopefully technical problems will not be there, but we've got one scheduled for 10:30 and for 2:30. If we have that holding slide available, please put those holding slides on. And also register for our newsletter at ettp.co.za. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for the positive feedback around in the chat group as well. Have a blessed day and be safe. And to all the parents out there that's homeschooling.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean. Stay blessed yourself as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the great work you're doing. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, not too bad. I see Harry was looking at me. Hello.